Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
What's going on, guys? So I'm back today. I want to talk about the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer that just came out yesterday. Now, I was getting a haircut, and when I got home, I just saw that they had dropped a new trailer. I was like, holy crap, I got to watch this because if you don't already know, which I guess I haven't mentioned before, so you obviously wouldn't know, duh. The Fantastic Four are some of my favorite Marvel heroes or heroes in general. Whenever I was a kid, this group right here, Chris Evans, Jessica Alba, Michael Chiklis, and then I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce Reed's actor's name. I have no idea how to say that, but they were my Fantastic Four along with that 90s animated show. Fantastic Four! I love the Fantastic Four. They were a big thing with me growing up. Absolutely loved it.
Together, they are the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four action figures, each sold separately.
So, to see what it became with 2015's Fantastic Four, or Four Stick, however you want to say it, I went to see that opening day, and I was extremely disappointed, just like mostly everybody else I knew who hated it. But I would say most of us were very relieved to find out that Fox had been bought by Marvel, which means that they got the X-Men, and mainly they got the Fantastic Four back. So now it's just, since I guess that was 18, 19, 17, I can't remember. Whenever the merger happened, we were just waiting around to see the X-Men and Fantastic Four come into the MCU. Like, okay, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And then finally we get word on this. And originally it was going to have John Watts direct this, the guy who did the 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. But then he dropped out. And then we got Matt Shakman, and he's the guy who was mainly over WandaVision, which I thought was an interesting choice because WandaVision had some cool direction. It had period stuff in it. And once we learned what the movie was about, it being a period piece, I got really interested. Now, the Fantastic Four cast themselves, I was a little iffy about whenever there was rumors about who they were going to get. But obviously they have Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards. They have Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, and they have Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. And then they have Eben Moss-Backrack as Ben Grimm the Thing. And that kind of confused me already. I'm like, wait a minute. Eben, he played, I can't remember that guy's name, but he played this guy in The Punisher show. So I guess to kind of explain that, they clearly stated that the Fantastic Four, this version of them, will be in an alternate universe. So I guess that explains why there's 2 of them. It's not the first time Marvel has reused actors anyways in different projects. But either way, the Fantastic Four First Steps is a period piece in an alternate universe that's like a retro futuristic 50s, 60s environment. It kind of puts me in the mind of The Incredibles. You kind of understand what I'm talking about. They've got some advanced technology, but they're still in like the 60s age. And I really like that. Like, it really plays for a nice visual, and the storytelling could be really interesting based on the time period they're in. And yeah, I love The Incredibles. I love anything that's a time period piece. Look at Captain America: The First Avenger or Shawshank Redemption.
You don't push him off the roof, because if you do trust it, there's no reason you can't keep that 35,000.
What did you say?
35,000.
Really, Oh Brother Art Thou, any other movie that takes place in the past, I don't know why. I just love period pieces. But this trailer kind of gave us a lot more to digest versus that teaser we had. Now, I didn't talk about the teaser. I never got around to it. But we can kind of talk about this trailer because it covers the same basis. So what I think is interesting is that we learn, or I can infer, that the Fantastic Four as a team, like as a scientific team, a group, before they get their powers, seem like they're already well known. We see all this footage being shot of them. I almost wonder if the way they spin this version of the story, what if they're the first astronauts to ever go up into space? Why else would they be popular? I mean, I'm sure Reed Richards could be well known for being a smart scientist, and the others could be known for other things, but I'm kind of wondering what's the angle here. Why do they have so much footage, and why are they already famous before they go up and have the accident? Are they the first ventures in space in their reality, or is there some other reason? But we do know that whenever they have their accident and come back, they are well renowned. They are the only superheroes of their universe. I did read that somewhere. And the public loves them. Kids love them. They have toy cars, or makeshift cars with the 4 on it. People have toys. Kids love them. There's cereal. There's actual cereal with the Human Torch on it, which we see Johnny eating on in the trailer. But I think it's really interesting that they're already well known and they're established. I don't imagine this takes place a long time after their accident, but I think it's interesting. I really do. I think that's a cool take. And I think what's most interesting about this trailer and just the vibe of the movie in general is that they're really trying to focus on that family dynamic, which is really what the Fantastic Four has always been about, is family. You have Reed Richards and Sue Storm. They're obviously a couple. And then Johnny is Sue's brother. And then Ben is like the best friend of Reed. And they all kind of had this nice family dynamic. And honestly, people don't give it enough credit, but I really think the Tim Story Fantastic Four, his 2 movies, do a good enough job with the family dynamic, especially with Johnny and especially Ben. They really nailed Ben Grimm in those movies with Michael Chiklis and the real suit and the emotion. Like,
It's okay. If there's a God, he hates me.
Michael Chiklis is the GOAT thing, but Eben may have a good chance of being the next best thing. I mean, I'm open to it, but Michael Chiklis has always been my Ben Grimm, and he may be for others people too.
Just put the man in the seat down. Do it!
But either way, it's cool. Like, we actually learned that Sue is pregnant. So I guess that means that they're kind of adapting Reed and Sue having their son Franklin Richards. And in the comics, I think he is a really powerful being who can more or less reconstruct universes. Like, the kid has just stupid amount of power. So yeah, and then there's certain shots in the trailer where we see that Sue's a little farther along, and then by the end where they're in costume fighting Galactus, she's not showing. It's almost like maybe they have Franklin, or they have their kids somewhere halfway in between, or sometime before the climax in the final battle of the movie. So I think that's kind of interesting. But I kind of wonder, just like most people have theorized, Franklin being that powerful, is that why Galactus has targeted this Earth for destruction? Because he wants Franklin and he also wants to feed on the world? Like, we don't really know that, but it's kind of a plausible thing. But I think it's interesting. We actually see the Silver Surfer, our new Silver Surfer. I think she's played by Julia Garner. Am I remembering that right? She's obviously a female Silver Surfer, and this is not just a gender swap like most people probably think it is. She's actually a real character in the comics that's not Norrin Radd. Like, Norrin Radd is obviously the one that is most popular. We saw him in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer in 2007. But Julia Garner is playing, I can't remember her name, but she's a different Silver Surfer. And she comes down and warns the Fantastic Four. She said, your Earth has been marked for death. And we get this really cool shot of Johnny taking off after. It really reminds me of Rise of the Silver Surfer when Johnny takes off after the Silver Surfer over all these states. Like, it gives me that feeling that Johnny is flying up in the sky and he extinguishes and reaches his hand out. It's a really cool shot. And he grabs the board and she knocks him off. But Reed says something like, I think it's my fault. Kind of like, I knocked on the door of space and it knocked back. Kind of something like that. And you see Reed struggling he's drawing X's on his whiteboards, or his chalkboards, sorry. And then what I like is people are like, are we even safe? And Reed just simply replies,
I don't know.
But I like that we already have this imposing fear of danger. A lot more than we did with Rise of the Silver Surfer, because Galactus feels like a tangible threat because he's a physical form this time. Now, everybody knows that he was like a space cloud in Rise of the Silver Surfer, and people hated that. But now he is actually the celestial style being that we know him to be. We see his shadow cast over New York, and we see at the very end him walking through the streets. So he can grow and shrink at any scale he wants. But to speak on that, I really like the extra shots we get of just the Fantastic Four using their powers. Like, I love to see Johnny engulfing in flames and flaming on. I always loved that effect in the old movies, and in this movie it still looks really good. I love that. And then we just see Ben plowing through some stuff. We actually finally see Reed stretching a little bit. I know that was like, people were freaking out over the last trailer, like, oh my God, we haven't seen Reed stretch. It must look terrible. The CGI is not finished. Oh my God, let's riot. They're like freaking out. And I'm like, just hang on. It's just a teaser trailer, dude. They may not show Reed doing that. But yeah, we see him doing that. And then we see Sue using her powers. And it's presumably in New York, whatever, they're fighting Galactus in the streets, which is really cool. But there's actually there's a couple little cool shots in here too. Like we see Ben pulling a boat by its anchor through the water, which is really cool. And then we also get a shot of Reed looking over their baby's crib, and he kind of stares at the planets, the little hanging planets that are fake for the baby. And then along that, we also see like Ben just kind of casually in a hat walking around. These kids are telling him to pick up a car, and he does, which almost looks like an homage to like Superman with that green bug-looking car. It's cool. And but yeah, I think it looks awesome. And one thing I do like is that we get just a little bit of snarkiness from Joseph Quinn, who plays Johnny Storm, the new one. Whenever Sue tells him that she's pregnant, Johnny's pretty funny. He's like, "Oh, Sue, you're gonna be the best mom ever," and then Reed's like, "You're gonna be the best dad." I'm just kidding. You're way out of your depth, but we're gonna make good uncles. Like, it's just funny. Like, I think he's gonna have the right charm and the hot-headedness that Johnny Storm has. Chris Evans is gonna be really hard to top. He just set the standard for what it was 20 years ago.
I think we should drop like 10 more feet. My future wife.
Cloud has fundamentally altered our DNA.
Cool. And you know what, guys? I think I was flying.
But I think Joseph Quinn is probably going to be the next best thing, or the best Johnny Storm we've ever had. I hope every iteration of the characters we get are the best. So I'm excited to see what they do with the Silver Surfer. I'm really excited to see what they do with Galactus, and just the rest of the four, and how they utilize the time period. I really hope that it really gives a nice spin on what's happening, just like The Incredibles or Captain America, the First Avenger. It really looks like they're going to focus in on that. But it's funny. I love seeing the Fantastic Four just seeming like they're just living and functioning as a family, even though they're a team of heroes. Like, I love seeing them just out and about in the Fantastic car. Ben's got a full, basically like just full clothes on, looking really tough. Whoever his tailor is has got it on point. Ben he's a big, tough dude. And then you just see everybody else in casual clothes. Like, I don't know. I like that casual feeling. And then I think Fantastic Four from 2005 done this really well too. You just see Johnny popping Jiffy Pop on his hand. Just them casually doing things and just feeling like normal people. I really like that. They're so normal, yet they're so fantastical, and fantastic, pardon the pun.
Say that again?
It's fantastic.
But, just how ordinary they are and their real problems with how fantastical everything else around them is. That's just something I always like about the Fantastic Four. But, yeah, I am super excited to see what happens. But, oh, yeah, before I forget, there is one key shot in this trailer where it looks like the Fantastic Four's spaceship is going through space and what looks like Earth. I'm assuming this is Earth. Looks like it's got a huge place being devoured or sunken into. So, did they just show us, like, Galactus destroying their Earth? Like, I hope not. I really hope not. But it kind of strikes me like that looks like Earth. Or is that another planet they're looking at that maybe is devoured, and that's how they know what's going on? Like, I'm not sure. I don't really think that they would show Earth being devoured like that in a trailer, but I could be wrong. I really could be wrong, because we don't know. But I guess another thing I was thinking of too. So we see the Fantastic Four, they go up into space the first time, before the accident. But we also get all these shots of them suiting up to go back up into space post their accident. Ben's in rock form, they all have their spacesuits on. Why are they going back up into space? That's really something I'm really curious about. Why are they going back up? Are they going to another planet to see what Galactus is doing? And maybe that's why that shot later with the spaceship in space and the planet being destroyed comes into play. Like, I want to know why they're going back into space. I think that's kind of an interesting angle. Like, what are they doing? Like, I'm really curious. Yeah, the movie looks great. It looks fantastic. But But yeah, I mean, this is my most anticipated Marvel project this year, besides Daredevil Born Again, which is just finished. But yeah, I'm as a longtime Fantastic Four fan and someone who has been waiting for them to be done some justice, I'm super psyched about what they have in store for us. And it looks really good. Like, it looks awesome. Again, I'm a sucker for a time period piece. This is it. It's really giving me strong Incredibles vibes, which I really, really like. That's not a bad thing. But we shall see what happens come July. I'm really psyched. But I thought I'd just kind of spitball some of my thoughts about this. Like, I guess overall, the casting for the main team and everybody is super solid. I'm really buying into this now that I'm seeing it. I remember I was a little skeptical about Pedro Pascal being Reed Richards because I was like, man, they feel like they're just casting him in everything because he's popular right now. But I'm starting to see it, and I like his version of Reed that I'm seeing. But either way, this looks awesome. I really can't wait. We'll definitely talk more about this, whether when the movie comes out or if there's something else noteworthy to talk about before the movie comes out. But yeah, that was just my kind of quick rambling thoughts about the Fantastic Four First Steps, the official trailer. Hope y'all enjoyed this. If you like videos like this, please consider subscribing. I make a lot of videos just talking about, obviously, comic book media and other stuff like that, and just movies in general. If that's kind of your cup of tea, you like comic book stuff, you like some other things, maybe consider subscribing and dropping a like and just kind of following with me. And just leaving a comment. Let's discuss some things. I really want to engage with people who are watching me, who are wasting their time watching me. But yeah. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.